Hello, everyone. I'm Allison Hagendorf, and I am so excited to be part of this very special live stream, which is celebrating 20 years of Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. This album's unique fusion of heavy alternative rock, hip hop, and electronic music not only made that album the best-selling album of 2001, one of the best-selling debut albums of the century, but it actually changed the course of music history. It is because of this unique sonic stamp that this album would continue to influence and inspire for decades to come. For the very first time since 2017, we have Mike, Joe, Phoenix, Brad, and Rob all here. Let's welcome the guys and let's start the celebration of Hybrid Theory.
Awesome.
I love you guys.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you for being here with us today. It's really fun to be here with you.
I'm honored. I mean, guys, 20 years. Let's think about that for 2 seconds. 20 years. I mean, that's a significant time period of time past. What is it? What are you feeling right now?
Let's actually think about that for 20 years.
And get back to you on that. Yeah.
Okay. Cut to 40 years since their debut album.
But it's just like 20 years. I mean, I'm always celebrating, album anniversaries. I'm wearing a Led Zeppelin shirt. We just celebrated 50 years of Led Zeppelin 3. But for me, this is extra special because we are the generation. This Hybrid Theory is my generation. These were the anthems that we lived by and lived for and continue to when they come on. I am filled with such wonderful angst, and it's such a celebration of life, So just thinking that it's 20 years, I mean, what does this feel for you guys? Did you ever imagine we'd still be talking about this album 20 years later?
Oh, absolutely. When we made it, and when I was sitting in my parents' house in my bedroom, singing like nonsense into the $70 used microphone into a cassette 4-track, I was thinking, I can't wait for 23 years from now when we can celebrate this music that I'm creating.
Right. So you knew. Fortune teller.
We all know. We totally knew.
I have to share with you guys just the first second I ever heard Linkin Park because it's so clear in my mind. So I just want to share this anecdote. I was a college rep at the time, and I was promoting the Dracula 2000 soundtrack, which, by the way, was a great soundtrack. And do you remember that? Do you remember it? It had like...
Did we have a song? Was it One Step Closer?
Thank you. So it was like System of a Down, Disturbed, and it was One Step Closer. And that was the first time I heard Linkin Park. And, normally when you hear like a new song, you're like, oh, I love this song. Like, this is cool. Who is this? That was not my reaction. I was like, what is this sound? It was more about what is this sound more than what is this song, And it was just... That's when I became obsessed with you guys and just learning everything and seeing you live as much as possible. But that was the song. Let's talk about that song for a minute, because for so many fans, that was their introduction to the band. Tell us about like stories of making that song and what you remember from that time.
Well, I could start with something very simple. It was one of the songs that we made in the studio. So some of the songs were written mostly before we got into the studio to make Hybrid Theory, but that one was done mostly in the studio. And we were writing and rewriting the lyrics quite a bit. And Don became notorious in the band for demanding rewrites. We would bring him something and he'd be like, I feel like you could do better. I feel like you could do better. And that was a song that he kind of sent us back to the drawing board a few times on, I think it was I know that the bridge was really a sticking point. We kept writing bridges and we didn't really hit it. And the reason the song is really so angsty and about like, I'm going to lose it, I'm about to break, is that it was really pointed at Don. We were so sick of Don sending us back to the drawing board on stuff. And Chester and I would like write something. We'd be in the little lounge next to the studio. We'd bring it in. And he'd be like, I just don't like it. When we came into the back into the little lounge area, and Chester had written something that was like, it had the words "shut up" in it, but it was a much longer vocal part. And I was like, what if you just say "shut up"? Like, what if it's just that? And then kind of like, I think like together we came up with the idea of him screaming it and then adding the shut up when I'm talking to you. And we were like, that's totally it. It's going to sound amazing. We go in and we told Don, like, we have an idea for the bridge. And he was like on his computer, like doing other stuff, like, yeah. Like, okay, well, what is, like, tell me what it is. We're like, no, you can't like tell it to you. We have to like record it and like show you. And he's like, okay. And then put Chester in the booth, and like the rest was history. I know that he was just like, when Chester sang it, Don was like, what? Like, this is amazing.
Absolutely.
It was pretty undeniable.
And the video for that song, actually, Joe, I want to ask you about this because I know that you directed so many of the Linkin Park videos, but this was so early on. This was perhaps the first experience you maybe had with even giving any input with direction. What was that experience like for you? And what did you learn from it?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Yeah, it was our first. I remember being involved working with a director named Gregory Dark,
Mm-hmm.
who was very popular at that time. He made a transition from directing adult films into making pop music videos. I think he did some big Britney Spears videos and whatnot. So he was. I think the industry used the term edgy back in the day. So,
Got it.
and we were an edgy band, so it seemed very appropriate. But yeah, I think it was a great learning experience. I think our record was definitely ready, but we were still growing into our skin a little bit. So I think for us watching it, it feels very awkward.
Totally.
Well, there were a lot of interesting hairstyles and hair colors, very signature of the time.
The thing I remember about that video so much was that it came off as if we had like choreographed or planned that like head bobbing move. Like that looked like, okay, guys, and now do the head bobbing thing. But they like it was, we just kind of did it, and then they maximized it in the edit. I mean, it's not that we didn't do that on stage. We did, but if you watch us play, you'd see like little bits of it, not like a choreographed like.
Right, it was like done in unison, right?
Yeah, super.
But that move in itself was so signature of the time. Like you can't even like not do this when you're listening to the song. Like that was it. The fans were doing it, the band's doing it. Like that's just like I want to do that right now. Like, can we like do that? I know. Like
should we do it?
Yes, we should do it. Like that was it. This was it. This was like of the generation. Like this was the move.
It's tough to get the timing of it down on like a chat.
Right. It's true.
We got to work that out.
It also doesn't look as good without a guitar strap extended out as far as it will go, so that every time you go down, the guitar practically hits the ground.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would look much cooler if we actually put on One Step Closer and then we did it to the song. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I do too. I'm down for it.
I think that would look really cool.
Very not awkward.
Well, by the way, I just want to tell you the book that comes in the box set I'm obsessed with it. I read it cover to cover. And what I love about it is obviously the beautiful imagery, which I want to talk about, but all the anecdotes of you guys that you all shared, little moments, and I read all of them, and it really warmed my heart. And actually, Rob, you had mentioned when you're making this video that you just remember you were in a very like underground spot where you found it hard to breathe, and then you found like that was maybe a recurring theme moving forward. That you were constantly in these places, and then you said something like, if it's not in a dangerous place, then we're not going to get a good show or a good video out of it.
That was definitely the beginning of like one of the fundamental qualities in shooting either a video for the band or photo shoots, like everywhere from being on the side of a freeway overpass, like in the rain where like cars could easily like slip off the road, or like being in a place that's hard to breathe, or guys having to inhale like powders being shot out, like where they're coughing and have like bronchitis the next day, like before we go on tour. So
you've like black lung.
Yeah. So when we started, when we shot that video, I remember going down an elevator, and it was like a long elevator ride down, and it must have been, a few hundred feet underground. And it was just like, there was just no oxygen in there. It was just really kind of nasty. And that was the beginning of, like the dangerous video things. And Chester, I think he seemed to kind of get the brunt of a lot of it. Both Mike and Chester, being singers, had to do a lot of crazy stuff in the videos and suffer a little bit more than the rest of us did.
Phoenix, I want to talk a minute about, because there was a moment where you were not with the band. You were with another band. And then I heard this story that you saw the band play at the Roxy. Was it the Roxy? And it sort of changed everything for you. Tell us about that.
Well, we had played for a handful of years, even prior to Chester coming into the band, kind of when we were all in college. And then I had taken probably like a year, maybe a little more, to go tour with a band I'd been playing with since high school, the Tasty Snacks, a huge pop punk outfit. But we did some touring, and it was either the Whiskey or the Roxy. I was home and able to come see these guys play a show. Obviously, still before Hybrid Theory, still before even like proper touring. But I think that was the first time I got to see Chester perform in a live setting. I'd seen him, I'd heard him a bunch on the recorded materials. I was still talking to these guys all the time and keeping up to speed on what they're doing. But I'd never gotten to see Chester obviously play a show. And so seeing that whole kind of unit working together and the beginnings of that, it was awesome. And even from that like early phase, it was always a special thing to see. So I was lucky enough in a weird way to get a little bit of an outside view of that, like to step out of it and then be able to come back in. And I think people with anything, when it works eventually, or when it becomes successful, people take it for granted that you just knew the whole time that was going to be the end result. But like in the reality, in the moment, both me at that point doing something else, these guys doing this, like nobody knew anything that was going to work or not work. And I think I remember having a conversation, not exactly what it was, but a conversation with Brad, just saying, what you guys are doing is awesome. Like, it's so good to have a step out. And during that conversation, Brad was like, when are you coming back to the band? We need you so much. Right, Brad? I miss you so much.
Do you remember this, Brad?
I was like, dude, you're doing great, man. Like, we're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing.
You do you. Yeah, that's amazing. By the way, I have a lot of fan questions that I'm just going to kind of ask you guys throughout. And
I'll just add to that.
Please do.
I need to
Please
add
do.
to that.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Yeah.
Dave really did come back just at the right time, because we were just starting to get like some big attention kind of in the on-ramp of the excitement that then became a global phenomenon. And like, if there was a last second where the door was closing and the plane was either going to successfully take flight or not, like, thank goodness Dave was back on the plane.
Aw. Well, wasn't it also the time that you guys went from like an RV to a tour bus?
Oh yeah, he was just like, I think that was the other
timing.
thing. He was like, I could be in a van or a bus. I think I'll just take the bus.
I'm just gonna wait and let you guys do the DIY, and once you're the bus, I'm gonna hop back on.
Well, I'd been touring in like a 12-passenger van while they were in an RV. So I was just like, RV sounds really nice. That sounds great. Like, you can actually lay down in there, like, amazing. But at that point, we were transitioning thankfully into a bus.
Double upgrade.
That first bus too. I don't know if you guys are the same, but I remember that bus like so well. We probably were only on that first bus for 4 or 5 weeks, but
It was an Eagle, right?
Yeah, blue. Like, I remember the funk I had. Everything.
Rob was the driver, right?
Not Rob Gordon.
Not me, but yeah.
Dude, that bus, they didn't even make those anymore. Like, we had the one of the, wherever we would show up, if there were other buses or other bands, it, like, people would be looking at it like it was this weird discontinued, used car. Like, you just, like, I remember, like, other bus drivers, like, I remember those.
Yeah.
You guys still have one of those? That's crazy.
Yeah, but for us at that moment, it was like, I remember thinking, like, we made it now. Like, we have a tour bus. This is like,
totally.
This is a big deal. We can actually sleep before we get to the next show.
Game changer.
Yeah.
At Nikki D715 says, do you guys remember Phoenix's first show back with the band? Any fun stories about that?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I remember what my first show back with the band was.
I think it was opening for POD.
Was it? Wait a minute. Was it the Best Buy show in the parking lot?
In LA?
Yeah.
No, I think we
already come back from a tour?
I think we had to do. This is where it gets really interesting. Is when I would just sit here and be like, I think it's when. I think we had something to do in like the New York area first. I think it was like we flew somewhere, and then maybe the third show or so would be the Best Buy K-Rock show in LA that we did. Third or fourth.
That was probably the first show, the Best Buy K-Rock show, where there was actually like, oh, this is like really starting to be a thing. Like some real, not just our own internal excitement and fans who were coming to early shows, but like there was like a more powerful energy kind of starting to take root.
They always talk, the station always talks about that as like being one of their more, memorable shows that they put on. Because they didn't expect to have the kind of fan reaction that they had. They were doing a calendar release, and it was like bands and the radio station and whatever in the calendar, and we were the show to how like promote it or whatever.
We were the show to promote the calendar, right?
We were. That's all that was. And we got to the Best Buy, and the parking lot was packed full of people, and they were spilling over the fences, and there were people on the outside of the fences that weren't allowed to get in. And we were looking. I mean, we had no idea it was going to be that crazy. And it was a big parking lot, and they put us inside in this little like green room, and the fans were like knocking, shelving over to get to us. And we felt like, so we were partially scared because we'd never experienced that level of like fervor, and it was very disorganized. That many people, they were just like, what the hell is going on? When we played, there were the people from outside the fences had climbed up onto the fences and were sitting onto the chain link fences just to get a better view of the band. Like, I remember them just rushing us out of there when we were done, because they're like, we need to clear this place out. This is like dangerous.
Wow. It's like instant mayhem.
It was crazy.
That's crazy. Let's talk about the album itself. When you guys started to make this album, was it intentional to create a new sound? Was it a conscious effort, or that's just a natural thing when you guys got together? This was what was happening.
I always felt like Hybrid Theory was a result of the very unique, like palette of stuff that we listened to. Mm-hmm. Like when back in the day when they would ask us like, what does your band sound like? We would throw these. We had a stock answer. It was The Roots, Portishead, Deftones, and Aphex Twin. And they'd look at us like, would look at us like, that's stupid. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, I love that.
And there were so many other things we were into. I mean, we were into DJ Shadow. We were into Metallica. We were into, 9 Inch Nails and Depeche Mode. But we would, you never heard all those things like put together. Like when I was growing up, people basically listened to one type of music. And I remember in my art classes in high school, we had beef with the other table who were like metal kids. They're like Metallica, and we were like NWA, and like they were, we were at odds strictly because that was was the music that divided us. And there were, obviously lots of groups and bands that cross those boundaries, quote unquote boundaries. I remember the first time I heard like the Chili Peppers, or the first time I heard Rage Against the Machine, and even I mentioned 9 Inch Nails. Like there was like stuff that Trent was using from other genres in their music, and he's, and yeah. So our thing was just like, we had these very specific reference points and very specific influences, and we did our best. The analogy we used was always that it was like a melting pot, or like a soup, where if you took all the ingredients and you blended them up really well, then when you looked at it, it was just one thing. It wasn't like the opposite approach would be like a salad, where you look at the bowl and you can see all the different elements. I can see, oh, that's lettuce, that's a tomato. But in the soup, it's just one thing. And that's what we tried to make.
A delicious angsty soup.
A angsty soup.
Joe, you said something cool about it.
That was actually the other title.
Yeah.
That was the title that we was our number 2 title.
Yes.
Angsty Soup.
Yeah,
From
delicious,
Soup,
angsty
delicious
soup. Right, exactly.
Mhm.
So close. But Joe, you said something really interesting in the book about it, that you were like, we were setting out to do a new sound. And you think about it now, you called it like borderless music, which I thought was really interesting, and how that's the norm today. That is literally the norm today. There's like the concept of specific genres, is getting less and less by the day. So I thought that was a really cool point that you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, like Mike said, we're definitely influenced by so many different styles of music. Also, I think just media in general, whether it be films or art, like we would, I think all of us in the band just have different conversations about creativity. We have been in the last 20 plus years. And I think technology has a lot to do with the choices and how we approached music. It was, I remember, Mike creating that 3-song demo on a 4-track with our friend Mark, and it was just like, wow, like I knew what a 4-track was, but didn't really know how it worked, and just to create layer by layer on a cassette tape was pretty interesting, but it has its limitations, and because of those limitations, I think it lent itself to maximizing what you could do on that particular recording device.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started getting serious about making music, we had a small publishing deal where it was more like a sponsorship to the band in exchange for, working with us for our publishing in the future. So we got advanced, and I remember the first thing that we bought was a computer for Mike and Cubase. So that opened up the possibilities, and making digital music became, it really opened the horizons of how we could make music and manipulate sounds. And I think we're like, for that time, we were really taking advantage of that to the fullest, and it reflects upon the album that we created. I think it really stands out in a unique way. Flash forward to today, where these tools are available to anyone who has a computer or even a smartphone. And the underlying principles on that stem all the way from hip hop and drum machines and all these sampling sampling ways of manipulating sounds. And now it's just the norm to pick music or sounds from anywhere in the universe and turn that into melodies.
At Blame Sanjay wants to know, with it being your first album, did you give any consideration as to how you'd pull it off live while you were writing the songs, especially with all of the layers in the music?
Yes. This was a great back and forth I would particularly love to have with Mike, because my bias was always just like, do whatever it takes for the song, and Mike always had like an eye to like actually having to help figure out and translate how we would pull it off live. And so, and my attitude was just like, it's not my problem. Like he'll figure it out, or someone will figure it out. Like, just add another layer, add another background vocal, like do whatever you need. And there was always like every time we made an album, not just Hybrid Theory, it was always a very deep dive, especially in the beginning of rehearsals, always a massive cluster F to try to translate what we'd done in the studio and actually do it live. Because our aim as a band has always been to be an incredible live band and to play everything live. And so when you're doing as many experimental things using digital technology in the studio, it becomes a really interesting puzzle to figure out live. That's actually a great question.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing is, if you think back, in the beginning, we weren't even tackling the difficult technological solutions. In the beginning, we just couldn't afford a second guitar rig on the road. Like we didn't play Crawling for the longest time because it required 2 guitars.
There's so many different things that went into the calculus early on of even playing a particular song in a live setting. Like for us to play Crawling, then Mike was going to be playing that second guitar part. And so everyone's like, okay, what's the big deal there? Well, at that point, that required like us having that much more gear to set up on stage. So we had to carry, whether it's another half stack worth of equipment, like amp and speaker cabinet, set up all the stuff. And at the end of it, it's just for like that 2.5 minutes of a song. Mike's going to be playing guitar on a song during the set. So we're going to be setting that up. And then it was like, oh crap, we don't have anybody to tune Mike's stuff. So now it's like maybe guitars, maybe Brad's. I just called you Guitar Brad instead of Brad. Maybe guitars Brad.
Basses, man.
Maybe Brad's guitar tech would do it. And then it was like, well, do we need another guy to, it was a mess.
Right.
But
Think
super
about-
funny.
Right. One sound would create so much more that would need to go into the live part. It's a really, really good question. Another question is coming from Jonas Bruning. Is it true that Chester would sleep at the recording studio while you were making the album?
He did it once. I know he did that. No, but it wasn't on Hybrid. It wasn't the Hybrid Theory one. It was the demo, wasn't it? Remember when we were doing the Hybrid Theory demo? I think he slept at that studio one time. But it wasn't like certain stories get blown out of proportion. Like they get exaggerated. Like he had a place to stay. For example, like, I mean, he or Joe had crashed on my couch many times, you know? They were welcome there. They just preferred not to sleep there because it was disgusting. But it was open. It's a better solution than like sleeping in your car or sleeping on the couch at the studio.
What was disgusting about your apartment, Mike?
I had 2 roommates. None of us had amazing. We were all in art school, and none of us had ever like had our own apartment before, really. And so we didn't really know how often, we didn't really understand the concept of vacuuming
or hygiene
or wiping things down. And I know I'm not the only one on this particular live stream thing that is guilty of this, but like, I can say this, at least we didn't have like roaches. Like that wasn't our problem. Our problem was just, we were painters and art illustrators. So like there was like, you would be drawing with charcoal, and like black charcoal dust would get everywhere. And you'd just look at it and be like, well, that's a mess.
Right. So it was messy.
Dave and I had an apartment. Dave and I had an apartment together, and we did have roaches. And our strategy, which I think they were roaches, our strategy was that they would.
Roach looks like.
It would come out when we turn the lights on, and so our strategy was just not to turn the lights on.
Right.
So that opens the door. So Brad and I roomed together through college, and so after school, when everybody's starting to travel and tour again, I'm from Orange County, not LA, so I had moved back down to Orange County, and I was living in and out of my mom's house on the couple weeks a year when we're actually back in town. Brad's got a place up in LA, so we're now back touring Hybrid Theory. We've been touring for like 6 months or whatever, and we're going to be home for only like 2 days. I can't remember what Brad was doing or why he wasn't there, but he was like, just go stay at my apartment up in LA so you don't have to keep doing the drive and all that. And he's like, you'll be with these other guys that we had roomed with in college, so other good friends of mine. I'm like, okay, great. I'll just go stay there for 2 nights, and then we're back out again, traveling. I get into Brad's room, his apartment, and all on the floor and in the bathroom, there's like hair trimmings from somebody like shaving their head. I asked one of his roommates, I'm like, what's going on with this? And he's like, I don't know. We haven't been in that room since Brad left for a tour like 6 months ago. It was just, so that was my other option. I could either go home and stay with my mom, or I could crash at Brad's place and hang out with hair trimmings.
Okay, charcoal and paint, that's okay. I feel like the hair trimmings is not okay. I feel like that's tough. That's really tough. Oh my God. Let's get to another fan question on that note.
Sorry, Brad.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh. At Ben Kyle 478 said, everyone has songs they love and don't love other songs as much. Chester once said he didn't want In the End to become a single, but then later he ended up loving the song. Is there any stories behind that song? Are there any songs that you guys didn't like or and then liked or anything like that?
I'll speak for myself. I'll say that 99% of the songs we've released that I love, and we always had a kind of tradition of writing as many songs as we could for a given album. Like there's 12 songs on an album, we would often write 50 to 100 songs. I mean, and that was even true to some extent for Hybrid Theory, right? Because the like figure of the aphorism is you have your whole life to write your first record, and then you have like a month to write your follow-up. So Hybrid Theory was really the best of any songs that we had written starting in like late 1996 until when the album came out. And we always wanted to make albums. We wanted it to be like strong from beginning to end. We were inspired by great, not just great songs, really great albums. It's amazing that we're here 20 years later talking about this album, you know, in spite of Mike's joke about having no clue the material would be celebrated. That was like our highest hope. And I think the reality in terms of the way the music is connected globally has even exceeded what any of us could have imagined.
What's also sort of interesting to point out is while Hybrid Theory was happening and your success and fame were happening at an exponentially, you know, going from the RV to the bus, going from clubs to stadiums, it was mayhem. I bet you didn't even have a second to even sit in it and breathe and acknowledge what was happening. Now, 20 years later, you actually have a moment to reflect and really sort of relive that time. I bet it's a blessing in some way.
Yeah, I had that experience just looking when I watched the extended version or the extra footage from our DVD frat party. When I went back through that, I realized just what you were saying, that there was so much that went on in that period. And I was looking at myself going, wow, like you were just a kid. I was looking at, you know, and having so many things happen so quickly. And then, you know, really quickly just thinking that you've adapted to it, you start to think you kind of know what you're doing. And then looking back 20 years later going, wow, I didn't really know what I was doing. I couldn't even like comprehend even like a fraction of what was going on until looking back. And I think like the overwhelming feeling I really had looking back was just like a lot of gratitude for what happened. Because in it, we knew there was a lot of success and a lot of exciting things happened, but looking back more like as an adult, you know, now knowing more about the world, knowing, you know, how tough it is to make something like that happen, that it, you know, it's easy when it was happening to just think like, well, doesn't this happen to every band that, you know, works hard and does, you know, puts the time in and rehearses and plays shows? And just what a special opportunity we really had together to do that. And so it was really, really fun for me to first have some time, you know, away to just kind of cleanse the palate and have some perspective. And I feel like this box set really, for me, was like a gift from both the people at our label that we've worked with, from our team, our management team, really compiling all of this stuff as like a keepsake. And it was it's been really fun to look at it with, you know, that clear perspective and to take all of it in on another level that I don't think any of us really understood at the time.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. Wow. Any other sentiments? You're like what he said. That works. After Hybrid Theory came out, there was the bonus edition, which featured My December, one of my personally favorite songs. And one of the fan questions from LP Panther says, can you talk about writing My December? It's a much more mellow song than Hybrid Theory, but I really love it. Can you talk more about that song?
There were a few songs along the way, even leading up to My December, that we had made that were mostly electronic, just fewer live instruments in them. Like one of the ones that we released in anticipation of Hybrid Theory 20 was a demo called She Couldn't. And on that one, you'll hear like clean guitars, no live drums, softer singing. So it was a thing that we did. It was already kind of a thing that was in our minds not like surprising, but for a lot of fans who heard Hybrid Theory, they hadn't heard that side of the band yet. We got asked to do a song for a radio station. We're doing a holiday compilation and had some original, holiday songs. And so we were on the road, and I wrote My December. I think we were going into a show in Nashville and I remember that because I might have written some of it in New Orleans, and we were headed to Nashville, and we recorded the vocals in Nashville. I remember that because I'd never seen, like, Nashville's known as such a music town, and I had never seen like the recording studios there and whatever, and they feel so different than LA. Anyway, we just kind of made this thing on the bus, and mostly on an MPC, and
Yeah, part of it was a result of what sounds we had on the floppy disks, right?
yeah, totally, that's totally true.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just like, missing home, and just kind of being, doing what we do, like being real about how we were feeling at that moment, and trying to capture the essence of what that feeling was in a song.
It's beautiful. We have a bunch more questions and talking about other songs in the box set, but first, Cactus Forest wants to talk about the Hybrid Theory album cover with the soldier and the dragonfly wings. Were there other ideas that had come up, or is this always going to be the picture?
Just to set it up, there was a moment where the label, before we had found Frank Maddox, we had met with a couple people who were art directors and who were involved in album art, and we just didn't click with anybody yet. And so I think in that process, some stuff got made. Joe, do you remember any of those things that got made before the soldier?
Yeah, a lot of it was there was this futuristic, almost cyberpunk Japanese style thing going on.
I remember those logos. Yeah, I remember the logos.
Yeah, but I do remember we didn't know exactly what we wanted, but we were very clear on what we did like and what we did not like, especially Mike and I coming from art backgrounds. And finally, we were able to work with Frank Maddox and have him take the lead in art direction. And he was always a guy that came from a similar artistic background as far as references and knowing what we're talking about, as far as graphic design and especially graffiti, and he's one of those guys that likes to make things really dirty and then clean it up, which has always been part of our DNA, not just with the art, but also with the music. And yeah, I think we were very clear on these are the type of graphics and the background of lettering styles that we wanted to explore. We definitely wanted to have hand created elements, and there was a certain subset of graffiti and graffiti techniques that we're into that Frank was all on board with. So I think once he came to the picture, the ideation came really quickly. A lot of it because he was so excited, and we were speaking his language as far as what he wanted to do. And the big thing was the idea of juxtaposition. That's been a theme that we're really trying to master musically for years, hence the name Hybrid Theory. And the version of that being represented graphically was to take beautiful elements that were very immaculate, but also exposing that to the dirty side. So that's where the idea of the wings matching the brutality of a soldier came about.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's so amazingly iconic. Thank you for sharing that with us. Makes perfect sense. Let's talk about some of the songs in the box set. One of the songs on this box set that fans have been waiting for over 15 years is Picture Board. This is a very special song. Fans are so excited it's finally here. And Mike, you had said something and told a story about how this was one of the first times you heard Chester's vocals on the music. So tell us about that.
Picture Board was a song that didn't have we it was always a song we loved and we wanted. I always really enjoyed it wasn't that loud. Again, it was more of a hip hop breakbeat kind of thing. And the reason that we never were able to release is because it had a sample in it. So, we moved on to other songs we liked better, and it kind of fell by the wayside. And fans had heard about it at some point in 2001 or 2002, and they always asked about it, but we were we didn't have an occasion to clear the sample and make it available. And this became the perfect time. This year became the perfect time to do that. It's a very the song is a little bit abstract. It was written prior to Chester coming into the band, so the lyrics were more of the style of what Mark and I used to do. And we were still kind of as we were, once Chester came in the band and we were reworking it, it was, we were still figuring out our sound. So it's that I can hear the experimentation. And Brad, you said recently that you think this might have been, Picture Board might have been, was it Picture Board the one you said? It might be the first time we heard Chester's voice on our music?
It's my first recollection of hearing Chester's voice. Yeah. Someone had sent him instrumentals, like a friend of a friend. And his story he loved to tell is that he left his own birthday party to go to the studio and record his vocals. And yeah, when I heard that, I was I was well, I don't know, what is this?
Heard it, right? I'm in my apartment. Yeah. You and I were both together when we called him. I don't remember if anybody else was there, but I remember because I remember the two of us kind of taking turns talking to him, and he was like, "I will come out to LA right now. Let me just come out and sing for you guys." And we were like, "Who is this guy who's he's so spur of the moment and free, and he's not none of us are that way. The rest of us are not hey, I'll drop everything right now and go leave the state." You know what I mean? That was part of his personality to be that way. And that was our first introduction right off the bat to this guy that was very emotionally driven and would just change course on something he felt passionately about. And we were like, wow, he really wants to meet us and come out to the thing. That's good.
I was talking to somebody the other day doing an interview and kind of realizing that we had always prided ourselves on being really hardworking and, just kind of almost like what Rob was saying, that we're just going to continue to apply ourselves and work until it works. And with this kind of naive expectation that if we just do that, then everything will be fine. And then when Chester kind of came into the mix, I think, at least for me, I saw, okay, he's got a different type of work ethic where it's just, he's ready to just go all in. It's the music equivalent of yeah, I'm just going to shove all the chips in and then let's see what happens. Where before that, all of us, I kind of felt we're going to work really hard. We're smart. We know how to do this. We can write music, but we were always I've got these chips left over here and I could always do this. And I've got this other idea and I'm really good at this. But Chester was just kind of yeah, I'll drive out right now. I can be there. I'm in Phoenix. I can be there in 6 hours. Let's go. I was okay, this is a new gear. We need to kind of we need to get into that mode a little bit.
By the way, Chester played poker exactly the same way.
That's also very true.
That's amazing. So it was obviously his voice, but also his passion that was so special. Phoenix, you said in the book that you said that Chester's unique range was basically gave us a full musical palette to work with, which I think is such a cool reference there. You're absolutely right.
I stole that from Mike and Joe.
Okay.
Them and their artist backgrounds. I'd heard them speak so much about it. And it always made a ton of sense to me. If it were to be my analogy or my metaphor, I would have probably talked about food or cooking. But I stole from them the palette idea, and just that notion made so much more sense that, when you've got a set of colors and then you bring a Chester in, you've got so many at that point with the abilities and styles that he could sing in and the range that he had, both musically and then also emotionally. It just suddenly broadened up your lanes and your avenues as a writer that you could experiment with. You could literally think of the craziest thing possible and then have him try it, and sometimes that experiment would turn out ridiculously silly, bad, or awful. And the hardcore fans have heard some of those. And other times it would, just the smallest little idea could open up a whole new pathway of sounds and ideas to explore.
That's incredible. Yeah, because Chester's voice was so unique. He was able to push boundaries physically, sonically, that I'm sure it helped the band also go into uncharted territories as well. Another fan, Nick Vitaco, wants to know, what's the story behind Dilate and Could Have Been?
Dilate was probably the first demo that was the start of the idea of the band. So Mark Wakefield and I had been friends since we were about like 12 or 13. We were in classes together in school. And on the weekend, at some point I got a 4-track, and I was already like starting to make beats on this little sampler I had. And Mark came over, and we would make some things, and then that led to making joke songs. So we'd make songs in the style of like a mock version of like Dr. Dre and Snoop, or like Wu-Tang Clan, or Diddy and Biggie. So we made these goofy songs, but really, part of it was just entertaining ourselves, and part of it was like learning how a song gets put together. Like what, in my case, with the sampler, for example, like what do I have to do to imitate that type of a beat? And then eventually I felt like in retrospect, we probably learned just enough to be able to make our own thing. And Dilate was the first one, really. A bunch of the songs from this package, like this Hybrid Theory 20 package, are demos from that era. So Dilate's in there. Originally, the track A Place for My Head was originally called Esaul, Esaul. Forgotten was originally Rhinestone. And each of the songs has like a demo version that's from those early days. And then lastly, the other one they mentioned was She Couldn't. She Couldn't obviously didn't make the record, but like My December, this was an early song when Chester had just first joined the band, and we were trying to figure out our personalities, like on record, like how we made what our music sounded like. And this is a song without any live drums and without any loud guitars. And it had the line in it, "You're not alone." And all those things put together, I feel like that identity, like that version of Linkin Park didn't show up until maybe Breaking the Habit off the second record, or maybe something off of Minutes to Midnight. Like it wouldn't be another like 4 to 7 years later that we opened up that version of the band. But it was the point of She Couldn't is that it was always there. It was there since the very beginning. We just hadn't figured it out yet.
Well, I just wanted to talk about the fans and your fan base and the Linkin Park Underground, because Linkin Park is known just as much for their fan base and how loyal and passionate they are. So I know that your fan base has been important to you since day one. And literally, I think, Rob, you mentioned in the book that it was always important for you guys to stay into direct contact, and you would spend even hours after a show just like talking with fans. I know you started like mailings in your apartment or whatever. So just share with us the role that fans have played for you guys in your career as a band.
Yeah, first off, I want to just take the moment to thank our fans. I'm not on social media, and I've pretty much been off the grid for the most part for the last 3 years. So I haven't had a real chance until now to interact and to talk to the fans. So first off, I wanted to just acknowledge them and say thank you for all of the support, from the very beginning up until the newer fans that have joined, along the way. And we would not be able to do what we love to do without our fans. It would be impossible, obviously. And the relationship with the fans, from the very beginning was kind of the main piece that reinforced for us that we were doing something right, that we were getting feedback when we were trying to get a record deal, when we were trying to book clubs, when we were trying to do all the things to succeed. We were getting rejected over and over again. And there was always a reason, like, you guys, got to change this or change that. And the fans were there from the beginning, and they were, telling us, we love your music, we love what you're doing, keep doing it. And it started, in my apartment on email, which email was kind of like a newer thing to be emailing back and forth at that time. And so I was emailing along with other guys directly with the first 5 fans, the first 10 fans. And then it came down to, well, we had a little bit extra money. Let's make some demo tapes and send those out to our fans. And then, maybe those fans can pass out 10 or 20 tapes to their friends, and they'll maybe be interested in the band. And that's really how our fan base started. It was really a grassroots thing, and it was really personal. So we had communication and contact with that fan base, and that grew into a street team of, where it was more intentional when we got signed to a label to have that fan base really support us. And so it really is like the lifeblood of what's behind our music, and gave us the energy and the passion and just the ability to persevere through all of the obstacles. And I can say, to anybody making music or doing anything in life that really wants to push forward, there's a lot of obstacles that come along the way. And we were rejected. Probably, we were rejected by every major label. And back in those days, there was a lot of labels. And we got rejected by, probably 20 labels once. And then we went back for round 2 and got rejected again by all 20. So, I don't see how we wouldn't have given up along the way if it wasn't for our fans. So thank you to all of the fans that have been with us from the beginning, and welcome to all the fans that are just kind of joining and discovering the music now.
That's great advice. And I was actually going to bring up the process for you guys for people to realize that you earned everything yourself. You guys did over 50 showcases. You were rejected countless times, like you just said, Rob. And I was going to ask what advice you have to artists first starting out and with the challenges, obviously connecting and connecting with fans. What else would you say?
I think the best advice I could give, and what I realized looking back at Hybrid Theory, is that it was completely authentic to the music that resonated with us. As we were talking about getting rejected so many times, we didn't change what was right for us. We stuck to it because we knew for us it was the right thing, and there was something magical happening. And even because nobody else sees it at that time doesn't mean it isn't the right thing for you. So for musicians and artists, I think being true to yourself and really finding what that is and just doing it no matter what is really, I think, the key ingredient to succeeding.
I was just going to add, we've been really fortunate, and we've kind of touched on it a little bit today, that we've got an incredible group of humans in this band. And so each of us has kind of contributed a unique strength or talent or passion. We've touched on Chester's unique abilities, certainly world class, and each one of us kind of had some unique, authentic vision or talent or grit that he individually brought into the mix, that we've relied on over time, and that we've made into this really unique whole. And I think when I think about Linkin Park, and I think certainly behind the scenes, I know that kind of incredible patchwork of talents and personality and humanity has made what we've built so special.
That's awesome. I think what's so special about Hybrid Theory and Linkin Park is that, like you just said, each member is a crucial part of the band. And the music has become timeless, not just as the body of work and as the band, but how does it make you feel to hear your influence in so many newer bands and newer artists, and to know that your legacy lives on through other artists? It's your music that inspired so many people to pick up an instrument or start to sing. You know, one of my favorite bands, Bring Me the Horizon, clearly inspired and influenced by you guys. That's a celebration, you know. So I wanted to know, how does that make you feel to know that your music lives on in so many?
It does surprise me, like especially when it's people that whose stuff, when the stuff they're making doesn't seem like it has anything to do with what we did or what we have done. That's always interesting. I do, going back to the how much music has changed, it is one of the things that I'm like the most proud to have been a part of, is the blending of boundaries and the approaches that we've taken, sometimes even by accident on albums, like just screwing around and being creative and losing sense of like our bearings, can sometimes result in a really unusual approach on a song. And then to have somebody else listen to that and go like, oh, that's a good sound, and like make their own version of it, is like, you know, there is no higher form of flattery. So it's, I love that for sure.
Aw. And before we close, can each one of you share a fond memory of the band and a fond memory of Chester? Joe?
Damn it. I don't know. He was such a funny guy. I remember just laughing a lot, and part of me didn't want to laugh at his jokes because he would take that as energy and then really try to entertain you, and then he would just be so relentless that he wouldn't let it go. So it's like, so I'm like, oh shoot, I'm gonna be sitting here for an hour.
That's
being
amazing.
the one-man audience for his comedy show.
That is awesome.
Which is pretty amazing, because he was always just trying to make people feel better, you know. Mm-hmm. If he saw someone in a bad mood, he just, you know, I don't know if he wouldn't really say, hey, what's wrong? He would just come over and just start horsing around, and I think that was a great energy to always have, and also something to be afraid of sometimes.
Aw, that's awesome. What about you, Rob?
Well, for me, it's like, thinking back, it's tough to find like one particular thing, but I think like, you know, as experiencing this box set and being back kind of in the energy of Hybrid Theory and the making of it, like there was really like, I'd say the camaraderie between all six of us was just like something I really, really appreciated, and the friendships and the time we spent together. I mean, we literally spent like every spare minute that we had at our, you know, stinky little rehearsal space, our little lockout rehearsal space that we were so proud to have. And we just like, we wanted to be there every minute we could. So we'd finish what we had to do, if it was school or work, whatever it was. And then we'd get over there and hang out. So it was having meals together, like walking places, talking about like our music, talking about the lyrics of a song we were working on. And there was just such a simplicity to life at that time, and being able to really just fully immerse ourselves in the musical experience. And, you know, Chester was a guy that he had a huge heart, and he was there to, like Joe was saying, he was there to help people and to really lift people up. And so he just had a way to, you know, to connect emotionally in a way. And he brought that element to our band, you know, talking about, you know, lyrically, just, you know, I think our music and Hybrid Theory really speaks to the emotional landscape that we all go through as human beings. And he was able to really embody that in a way, and to, you know, perform that and illustrate that musically in such a profound way.
That's beautiful. Phoenix?
Are we doing the band and Chester? Is that the plan?
Whatever you want. Whatever you're feeling.
It wasn't our first time touring Europe, but it was definitely touring for Hybrid Theory. We had probably gone over and done some smaller runs, some promotional runs, small tours, but this was the first time we were going into Europe in the summer, playing the European festivals. And I have this memory of our first time playing, it was either Rock am Ring or Rock am Park in Germany, a huge summer festival. And we were playing the main stage, and we probably were playing at 4:00 in the afternoon, which is kind of, it's great to be playing the main stage, but you also don't know what you're going to get. You don't, like, I had never played a European festival. I didn't know if there'd be people there. We didn't know how we'd be received at this kind of environment. I remember going out on that stage and having it be, midday, sun at full blast. You could see as far as you could see. And this festival, if it drew 100,000 people, it felt like you could see 100,000 people deep, in the broad daylight. At nighttime with the lights, you can't see that far out. In the afternoon, though, you can see the whole mass of humanity. And I just remember kind of like starting to walk out to play, looking back at Rob and just being like, are we doing this? Like, is this happening? With this like Braveheart scene of humanity out in front of us? Like, it super intimidating, but at the same time, just such a cool rush and such a cool like adrenaline spike. And to this day, like those festivals have been, I think, some of all of our favorites, but definitely special. And one memory that came up with Chester, it was probably, it was maybe 5 years ago or so, but we were playing in London, and I remember we were playing a show at the O2 Arena. Being in London, lots of craziness, lots of record company people to see and meet and greets to do. We're backstage, it's close to showtime, and I had my family out with me. So I have my 3 young daughters backstage, and I remember seeing them and thinking like, we're walking through a green room area, kind of like a dressing room area. I remember seeing them and being like, oh, like, hi guys, like I got to go do this. I got a million things to do, but I'll be back. Like, I'll talk to you later. And then as Chester walked by, he knelt down, like got on their level. It was just like, hey guys, like so excited to see you. And I kind of watched him like, he's better with my kids than I am. Like, I'm like, but it was such a moment of like, he could step out and maybe for him, it was just a great opportunity to take a second to like unplug or whatever it was. I saw it and I learned a little bit that, in those crazier moments, it is and can be so nice to kind of recognize what's important and just let yourself go to that.
That warms my heart so much. That's a beautiful story. Thank you so much. Brad?
I can add a funny story, at least kind of funny to me. And it's funny that the prompt was like touching or warm or fond, and that mom goes to like a zany moment, which was us transitioning from our rehearsal space that we had spent years writing songs, learning songs, rehearsing songs. I don't know who we were always rehearsing these songs for, but we were constantly rehearsing songs. And then there was a very specific transition from there to our very first show on tour, like our very first tour. And so we had an RV and we had a U-Haul trailer, and all our gear needed to go into the U-Haul trailer. And of course we like thought everything through in advance and made sure everything was the right size. Completely did not do that, and realized as we had tried to kind of like mind meld Tetris all the equipment into the trailer that there was no way to fit. And we were standing outside on Hollywood Boulevard like at night, and our show was like 2 days later in St. Petersburg, Florida. And we realized we had to take all the gear out and then rent a new trailer that was sufficiently large enough to hold all the equipment. At the time we got the new trailer and everything packed to go, we realized we had no time to stop between Hollywood and Florida. So if you're familiar with the 10 freeway, it does go the whole way. And we just took turns driving like through the night and basically got to our first show with like some amount of minutes to spare. And unpacked everything out of the U-Haul and threw it up on stage or the floor, wherever that band allowed us to perform. And the rest was history. Specifically about Chester, because I've been asked this before. It's impossible for me to boil it down to one instance. I have so many instances of amazing joy and adventure and friendship with him and shared experiences and miss him, and definitely grateful for everything that he embodied and represented both in my life personally and as a world-class, iconic performer and writer and singer and all of the above.
Well said. I was thinking like the first thing that came to mind, and I tried to think it's like, is that really the thing? Because it seems so like benign. But the first thing that came to mind when you asked the question was so Chester and I traveled together. We chose to travel together all the time, like from the beginning of the band till the most recent tour we were on together. We would travel, like we'd both get, we'd oftentimes fly commercial near each other or on the same flights. We would always travel in cars once we got to and from airports, to and from hotels, to and from shows. Like we were 99% of the time we chose to travel together. And like I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that usually, especially after shows, we had this habit, we had this thing, and Dave knows exactly what I'm talking about because he was there for a lot of these, where we would just like spitball characters and have fictitious conversations and run weird fictitious narratives, just like freestyling them off the top of our heads. It was almost like you imagine like two people who are doing like voices for an animated cartoon, and we wouldn't tell each other who our character was or what we were about. We'd just react to what the other guy was doing. It was two guys who weren't good at improv doing improv. And we probably drove everybody else who was in the car with us, we definitely drove them crazy, because we'd do it if it was a 2-hour drive, we'd do it for 2 hours.
Oh my God.
We'd eat dinner, we were sweating after the show still, like maybe we're changing clothes in the van and we're doing this stupid thing, cracking ourselves up. But we would just constantly do it. And even if we were exhausted, like almost falling asleep, I remember many times it would be the case doing that, like just kind of like zoning out from being so exhausted from the tour and the whatever and the show. And then he'd be like, so, hey guy. And I'd be like, oh God, where do we go? I'd like wake up and yes. And we'd do stupid voices from there. But that actually, it's funny because it relates back to what Brad was saying about the traveling. Touring is hard. Touring is a lot of travel. It's a lot of being in cars with each other. It's a lot of like close quarters. It's a lot of jet lag, being hungry, being tired, like getting a call that you're in Beijing and you get a call that there's a major leak at your house back home, and you've like, your wife's saying, can you please help me with this? You get a call that your kid like fell at school and they need stitches or something. And in spite of all of that, like rigorous, that's really like one of the things that is the work of being a band. It's like, it's not really work, but if there is a thing that's work, it's the travel. And I feel like our guys have always been good brothers to travel with. Like if you're gonna do it, if you must, then you definitely want to get this group of guys to do it with, because that's the best way to do it.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, we are grateful for your brotherhood. We are grateful for your stories and for your music and for this awesome box set. Can't thank you guys enough. I'm such a fan of you as humans and also as music. Next, we are going to see never before seen footage of Projekt Revolution 2002. To my fellow Linkin Park fans, stay safe and stay sound. See you soon.
It doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Las Vegas, you ready? All right then, y'all. Let's do this. Yeah, Las Vegas, how you guys doing? Get up out of your seats right now. Yeah. I woke up in a dream today to the cold of the static. Put my cold feet on the floor, forgot all about yesterday. Remembering I'm pretending to be where I'm not anymore. A little taste of hypocrisy, and I'm left in the wake of the mistake. Slow to react, even though you're so close to me. You're still so distant, and I can't bring you back. It's true, the way I feel was promised by your face. The sound of your voice printed on my memories. Even if you're not with me, I will. Yeah. Now I see, keeping everything inside. Now I see, even when I close my eyes, I hit you and you hit me back, and we fell to the floor. The rest of the day stands still, fine line between this and that. But when things go wrong, I pretend the past isn't real. No one's trapped in this memory, and I'm left in the wake of the mistake. Slow to react, even though you're so close to me. You're still so distant, and I can't bring you back. It's true, the way I feel was promised by your face. The sound of your voice painted on my memories. Even if you're not with me, I will. Yeah. Now I see, keeping everything inside. Now I see, even when I close my eyes. Now I see, keeping everything inside. Now I see, even when I close my eyes. Las Vegas, check it out, Mr. Han. No matter how far we've come, I can't wait to see tomorrow. No matter how far we've come by, I can't wait to see tomorrow. Now I see, keeping everything inside. With you. Now I see, even when I close my eyes. With you. Now I see, keeping everything inside. With you. Now I see, even when I close my eyes. Las Vegas, how y'all doing tonight? Last night at Projekt Revolution, we want to see you guys go crazy out there. Let's see you guys get up off your feet a little bit. You ready to bounce with us? All right, let's bounce. Come on. 1, 2, 3, bounce. Get up. Graffiti decorations under a sky of dust, a constant wave of tension on top of broken trust. The lessons that you taught me, I learned were never true, and now I find myself in question. You point the finger at me again. I'm guilty by association. You point the finger at me again. I wanna run away, never say goodbye. Wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. Wanna know the answers, no more lies. Wanna shut the door and open up my mind. Paper bags and angry voices under a sky of dust. Another wave of tension has more than filled me up. Only talk of taking action, my words were never true, and now I find myself in question. They point the finger at me again. You're all guilty by association. You point the finger at me again. I wanna run away, never say goodbye. Wanna know say goodbye. But I run away, gonna run away. But I run away, gonna run away. I'm gonna run away and never wonder why. But I run away, gonna run away. But I run away, gonna run away. I'm gonna run away and open up my mind. Gonna run away, gonna run away. 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 I wanna run away, never say goodbye. Wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. Wanna know the answers, no more lies. Wanna shut the door and open up my mind. Wanna run away 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 and open up my mind.
Thank you guys very much. Do we have any street teamers in the house? Street team members? LP Underground crew? Put a hand up if you're down. Cause this shit is for you guys.
Why does it feel like night and day? Something in here's not right today. Why am I so uptight today? Paranoia's all I got left. I don't know what stressed me first and how the pressure was fed, but I know just what it feels like to have a voice in the back of my head. It's like a face that I hold in, face that I wink when I close my eyes, face that watches every time they face that laughs every time they fall. So you know that when it's time to sink or swim, that the face inside is hearing me right underneath my skin. Paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside is right beneath my skin. I know I'm gonna face it, me points out all the mistakes in me. You're gonna face on the inside too. Your paranoia's probably worse. I don't know what stressed me out first, but I know what I can't stand. Everybody acts the fact that the matter is I can't add out to what you can, but everybody has a face that they hold in. Face that they wake till they close their eyes. Face that watches every time they face that laughs every time they fall. I'm watching everything. You know that when it's time to sink or swim, that the face inside is what you do too, right inside your skin. Paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside is right beneath the skin. It's like a paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside is right beneath my skin. The face inside is right beneath your skin. The face inside is right beneath your skin. The sun goes down. I feel the light betray me. The sun goes down. I feel the light betray me. It's like paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like a face inside is right beneath the skin. It's like a paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside is right beneath my skin.
Yes, Las Vegas.
Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run a race, so pace it too fast, you just won't last. I look at you while taking pleasure in the awful things you put me through. You take away if I give in. My life, my pride is broken. You have to think you're never wrong. You live what you've learned. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you learn. You want someone to hurt like you. You live what you learn. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you learn. Lord, 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 Lord. You love the things I say I'll do. The way I hurt myself again just to get back at you. You take away if I give in. My life, my pride is broken. You have to think you're never wrong. You live what you learn. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you learn. You want someone to hurt like you. You live what you learn. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you learn.
Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run a race, the pace is too fast, you just won't last. Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run a race, the pace is too fast, you just won't last.
You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you learn. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you learn. You want someone to hurt like you. You live what you learn. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you learn. You like to think you're never wrong.
Forfeit the game.
You live what you learn. You have to act like you're someone.
Forfeit the game.
You live what you learn. You want someone to hurt like you.
Forfeit the game.
You live what you learn. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you've learned. Lord, 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 Lord.
Come on. Watch as the room rocks, manly moonwalk, mixed media slangs banging in your boombox. Verbal violence, lyrical stylist in a time when rock hip hop rhymes are childish. You can't tell me when rhymes are empty. Rapping to a beat doesn't make you an MC. Lacking skills and facility, you're killing me. With a DJ in your group, just for credibility. I heard some of you were getting help with your rhymes. You're not an MC if someone else writes your lines. Rapping over rock doesn't make you a pioneer, cause rock and hip hop were collaborating for years. Now they're getting randomly mixed and mashed up, all after a fast buck. All the tracks suck, so how does it stack up? None of it's real. You wanna be an MC, you gotta study this skill. Come on, who can rock around like this? Bring it to you every time like this. Who can rock around like this? Step, step up, step up. So you pick up a pen, write yourself a new identity, but mentally you don't have the hip-hop energy. With the tendency to make up stories, acting like the only hip-hop you've heard is top 40. And your record company's completely missing it. All the kids are dissing it for not being legitimate. So in a battle you can't hack and react with whack shit. Get smacked for verbal backflips, get your ass kicked for fabulous battle catalyst. It's taken decades for MCs to establish this. You're new to hip-hop and welcome if you're serious, but not on the mic. Leave that to the experience. Are you guys feeling that shit? Make some noise! Help us out! Who can rock around like this? Bring it to you every time like this. Who can rock around like this? Step, step up, step up, come on! Who can rock around like this? Bring it to you every time like this. Who can rock around like this? Step up, step up. My side, can we get a hand in the air real quick? Let me hear you guys make some noise. Make some noise!
All right, everybody over on my side, put a hand up in the air. On the count of three, make some noise. 1, 2, 3.
step up. Come on, y'all. Who can rock around like this? Bring it to you every time like this. Who can rock around like this? Step up, step up, step up. We're gonna turn the stage over to our man DJ, Mr. Han. Here you go. Feel that shit, y'all. Las Vegas, are you feeling that? Make some noise! You guys might be the best fucking crowd of the whole tour right now! Keep it up! If you know the words, sing along, people, come on!
I've lied to you the same way that I always do. This is the last smile that I'll fake for the sake of being with you.
Everything falls apart, even the people who never frown eventually break down.
The sacrifice of hiding in a lie.
Everything has to end, you soon find you're out of time left to watch it all unwind.
The sacrifice is never knowing why I never walked away, why I play myself this way. Now I see the testing me pushes me away. Why I never walked away, why I play myself this way. Now I see the testing me pushes me away. I have tried like you to do everything you wanted to. This is the last time I'll take the blame for the sake of being with you.
Everything falls apart, even the people who never frown eventually break down.
The sacrifice of hiding in a lie.
Everything has to end, you soon find you're out of time left to watch it all
The
unwind.
sacrifice is never knowing why I never walked away, why I play myself this way. Now I see the testing me pushes me away. Why I never walked away, why I play myself this way. Now I see the testing me pushes me away.
We're all out of time, this is how we find how it all unwinds.
The sacrifice of hiding in a lie.
We're all out of time, this is how we find how it all unwinds.
The sacrifice is never knowing why I never walked away, why I play myself this way. Now I see the testing me pushes me away. Why I never walked away, why I play myself this way. Now I see the testing me pushes me away. Pushes me away. You guys are amazing tonight. I could feel the energy coming off every one of you guys, man.
I want you guys to sing along with Chester, all right? You guys help Chester out?
It starts with
One thing, I don't know why. Doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock ticks life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on, but didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried
so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
one thing, I don't know why. Doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, a designer's mind to remind myself how I tried so hard. Despite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property. Remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised that it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried
so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know.
I want to hear you guys, come on!
I put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. There's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. No, no.
All right, you guys. People, it's time to get a little bit rowdy. But if somebody falls down, you pick them up, okay? If they fall down, you pick them up. All right, y'all. It's time to do this shit. Las Vegas, are you ready? I watch how the moon sits in the sky in the dark night, shining with the light from the sun. Sun doesn't give light to the moon, assuming the moon's gonna always won. Makes me think of when you act to me, you do favors and rap on me. You just turn around and start asking me about things that you want back from me. I'm sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, stuck of you, whether I owe you this. Find another place to feed your greed, we'll find a place to rest.
I wanna be in another place. I hate when you say you don't understand.
You'll see it's not meant to be.
I wanna be in the energy, not with the enemy. A place for my head.
Maybe someday I'll be just like you and step on people like you do. Run away, other people that thought I knew. I remember back then who you were. Used to be calm, used to be strong, used to be generous, but you should have known that you were out your welcome. And now you see how quiet it is all alone. I'm so sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you, whether like I owe you this. Find another place to feed your greed, we'll find a place to rest. I'm so sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you, whether like I owe you this. Find another place to feed your greed, we'll find a place to rest.
I wanna be in another place. I hate when you say you don't understand.
You'll see it's not meant to be.
I wanna be in the energy, not with the enemy. A place for my head.
Try to take the best of me, go away. Try to take the best of me, go away. Try to take the best of me, go away. Try to take the best of me, go away.
Go away, yeah. Try to take the best of me. Go away, yeah. Try to take the best of me. Go away. I wanna be in another place. I hate when you say
Understand. You'll see it's not meant to be.
I wanna be in the energy, not with the enemy. A place for my head.
Playing so sick and attention, back to the hunger, such a blue rock like a old bit. Find another place to think to green, we'll find a place to rest. You're so sick and attention, sick of the hunger, such a blue rock like a old bit. Find another place to feed your greed, will I find a place to fuck you?
All right, hold up. Here's the deal. When people fall down here, you pick the motherfuckers up.
Can you guys help us out by saying that one time? Hold up. If they fall down, what do you do? If they fall down,
what do you do? That's right, everybody, all right. Let's keep respecting each other down here and have a good time, all right?
all right, you guys. Now, earlier on, you guys were bouncing pretty good. Las Vegas had some bounce to them. But I think you guys could do better than that. Can you do better than that, Las Vegas? All right, y'all. Let's see you do that shit. You ready? 1, 2, 3, get up!
Bounce from the top to the bottom.
Bottom to top, I stop.
As a core I forgot.
In the middle of my thoughts.
Take it far from my slavery.
The picture's there.
Remember one escape me.
But why should I care?
From the top to the bottom.
Bottom to top, I stop.
As a core I forgot.
In the middle of my thoughts.
Take it far from my slavery.
The picture's there.
Remember one escape me.
Why should I care? It's a place so dark you can't see the end.
Sky's compact.
Shock that which can't defend the rain incense dripping. Acidic question forcefully devour suggestion. Then with the eyes shut, looking through the rust and rotten dust. Small spot of light floods the floor. Pours over the rusty world of pretend. And the eyes ease open and it's dark again.
From the top to the bottom.
Bottom to top I stop.
As a core I forgot.
In the middle of my thoughts.
Take it far from my slavery.
The picture's there.
Remember one escape me.
But why should I care?
In the memory you'll find me. Eyes burning up. The darkness holding me tightly. Until the sun rises up.
Moving all around, screaming of the ups and downs. Pollution manifested in perpetual sound. The wheels go round and the sunset creeps behind street lamps. Chain links and concrete. A little piece of paper with a picture gone. Floats on down the street till the wind is gone. Memory now is like the picture was then. When the paper's crumbled up, it can't be perfect again.
From the top to the bottom.
Bottom to top, I stop.
At the core I forgot.
In the middle of my thoughts.
Take it far from my slavery.
The picture's there.
Remember me won't escape me.
But why should I care?
From the top to the bottom.
Bottom to top, I stop.
At the core I forgot.
In the middle of my thoughts.
Take it far from my slavery.
The picture's there.
Remember me won't escape me.
But why should I care?
In the memory you'll find me. Eyes burning up. The darkness holding me tightly. Until the sun rises up. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back. Tell me that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back.
Yeah, I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back. Telling me that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back. Telling me that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back. Telling me that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back. Telling me that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back. Telling me that I see it right through you.
In the memory you'll find me. Eyes burning up. The darkness holding me tightly. Until the sun rises up. In the memory you will find me. Eyes burning up. The darkness holding me tightly. Until the sun rises up.
Joe and I got a chance to work on this song with a group called the Executioners. They're a DJ crew out of New York. Bunch of really talented guys, been around for a long time. And to help us out, since those guys, the Executioners, are not here with us today, my man Riff Raff is gonna help us out on the mic. And my man DJ Z-Trip is gonna help us out on the turntables. Make some noise for Riff and DJ Z-Trip, y'all. If you know this, then help us out. The song is called It's Going Down.
Watch them bleed.
Las Vegas, you ready? Get the fuck up! Come on, y'all! That's right, y'all! Get up! Yeah, it's going down, it's going down, going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. It's going down, the rhythm projects round the next sound. Reflects a complex hybrid dialect now. Detect the measure, many elements compressed down. The melting pot of a super futurist style. The combination of a vocal caress with lungs that gasp for breath from emotional stress. Special effects and a distorted collage. Carefully lodged between beats of a rhythm barrage. It's going down, the logical progression on the timeline. The separation arrow down to a fine line. To blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey now. It's going down, the logical progression on the timeline. The separation arrow down to a fine line. To blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey now. It's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and Z-Trip to the 10th degree. It's going down. Nobody in the world is safe. We melt down the wax in your record crate. It's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and Riff back to the 10th degree. It's going down. Nobody in the world is safe. We melt down the wax in your record crate. DJ Z-Trip, y'all. It's going down. Once again it is, composed senses, altogether venomous. The four elements of natural force projected daily through the sound of the source. Everybody on board as we blend the sword with the pen. The mightiest weapon swinging right for the chin. To elevate mental states long gone with the wind. Defend men for shoddy imitation pretends it's going down. Style assimilation, readily tracking through the weaponry of the pure pedigree. Cleverly seeing through whatever is ahead of me. Whatever the weather be, we invest steadily. It's going down, still terrestrial high. A riot regiment is calling shots. Execution of collaborative plots, ready to bring the separation of style to a stop. It's going down, the logical progression on the timeline. The separation arrow down to a fine line. To blur the edges, slowly blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey now. It's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and Z-Trip to the 10th degree. It's going down. Nobody in the world is safe. We melt down the wax in your record crate. It's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and Riff back to the 10th degree. It's going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record crate. Mr. Han, y'all. DJ Z-Trip. Come on, go and put it out for the world to see. LP and Z-Trip to the 10th degree. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record crate. Put it out for the world to see. LP and Riff Raff to the 10th degree. It's going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record crate. It's going down. 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 Down, 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 down. Yeah, y'all. We got a special treat for you guys tonight. Represent for the Drunken Monkey crew. We got my man Giovanni. Check this shit out, y'all. Real B-boy shit. Feel that, yeah. Yeah. What? Yo. And my man Ivan, the urban action figure, also representing a part of Drunken Monkey crew. Yeah. How y'all feel about that shit? Make some noise! Yeah, y'all. Come on! in Las Vegas make some noise? Yeah! Unstoppable, y'all! Drunken Monkey crew in the fucking house.
Give it up, people, come on!
Yeah.
We saved that just for you guys.
So you guys ready to help us sing?
I want to hear everybody who knows the words singing loud and proud, all right? All right, let's do this, people! Crawling in my skin, these wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall, confusing what is real. There's something inside me that pulls beneath the surface, consuming, confusing. This lack of self-control I fear is never ending, controlling. I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in.
Without a sense of confidence, I'm convinced after just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before. So insecure. Everybody crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall, confusing what is real. Discomfort in this thing has pulled itself upon me, distracting, reacting against my will. I stand beside my own reflection. It's haunting how I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in. I felt this way before. So insecure.
All right, Las Vegas, let's hear that.
Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall, confusing what is real. Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall, confusing, confusing what is real. Something inside me that pulls me up the surface, confusing what is real. Self-control I feel is confusing what is real. Las Vegas, you guys are fucking amazing! Thank you very much! This is my December. This is my time of the year. This is my December. This is all so clear. This is my December.
Just wish that I didn't feel like there was something I missed. Take back all the things I said to make you feel like that. Just wish that I didn't feel like there was something I missed. Take back all the things that I said to you.
And I'd give it all away just to have somewhere to go to. Give it all away to have someone to come home to. This is my December. These are my snow-covered trees. This is me pretending. This is all I need.
Just wish that I didn't feel like there was something I missed. Take back all the things I said to make you feel like that. Just wish that I didn't feel like there was something I missed. Take back all the things that I said.
And I give it all away just to have somewhere to go to. Give it all away to have someone to come home to. This is my December. This is my time of the year. This is my December. This is all so Give it all away just to have somewhere to go to. Give it all away to have someone to come home to.
We don't wanna be left behind. All we wanna do is just blow your mind.
Make some noise for Mr. Hahn, y'all. You guys ready for some shit? Woo! Take a look behind you to my man Chester. What do I I do to ignore them behind me? Do I follow my fate to escape blindly? Do I hide my pride from these bad dreams and give in to sad thoughts that I'm manning? Do I let it go and try to stand it? Or do I try to catch it red-handed? Do I trust someone, get fooled by phoniness? Or do I trust nobody and live in loneliness? Because I can't hold on when I'm stretched so thin. I make the right moves but I'm lost within. I put on my daily facade but then I just end up getting hurt again by myself. I ask why I can't rely on myself. I ask why I can't rely on myself. I can't hold on to what I want when I'm stretched so thin. It's all too much to take it. I can't hold on to anything, watching everything spin with thoughts of failure sinking. If I turn my back, I'm defenseless, and to go blindly seems senseless. If I hide my pride, I let it all go on and go. Take from me till everything is gone. If I let them go, I'll be outdone. But if I try to catch them, I'll be outrun. If I'm killed by the questions like a cancer, then I'll be buried in the silence of the answer by myself. I ask why I can't rely on myself. I ask why I can't rely on myself. I can't hold on to what I want when I stretch so thin. It's all too much to take in. I can't hold on to anything, watching everything spin with thoughts of failure seeking. I've lost so much. I'm so afraid. I'm out of touch. How do you expect that I'll know what to do when all I know is what you tell me to? I can't tell you how to make it. No matter what I do, how hard I can't seem to convince myself. Stuck on the outside, don't you? I can't tell you how to make it. No matter what I do, how hard I can't seem to convince myself. Stuck on the outside. I can't hold on to what I want when I set so thin. It's all too much to take in. I can't hold on to anything, watching everything spin with thoughts of failure sinking in. I can't hold on to what I want when I set so thin. It's all too much to take in. I can't hold on to anything, watching everything spin with thoughts of failure sinking. How you guys feel about that? Yeah. Thank you guys very much. This is a song it's a cover song, so it's not one of our songs. But I want to know, what I want to know is, are there any Deftones fans in the house? Are you feeling that? If you guys are feeling that, then help us out, all right? Let's hear it. Big star, tell me when it's over. Yo, what's up, Vegas? You guys want to help me out with this? If you guys know the words, then come over here a little bit. Make some room, make some room. Make some room. All right. Hold on. I want to hear you guys singing this with us, all right? The shade is a tool, a device, a savior. See, I try. What do I try? I look up to the sky, but my eyes burn. You guys ready? Let's see you get up now. I cannot take this anymore. Saying everything I've said before. All these words, they make no sense. I found this in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anywhere. Come on. Everything is takes me one step closer to the edge. And I'm about to break. I need a little room to break. One step closer to the edge. And I'm about to break. I find the answers, I'm so clear. Wish I could find a way to disappear. All these thoughts, they make no sense. I found this in ignorance. Nothing seems to go away. Over and over again. Come on, y'all. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge. And I'm about to break. I need a little room to break. One step closer to the edge. And I'm about to break. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge. 'Cause I'm about to break. I need a little room to break. One step closer to the edge. And I'm about to break, 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 break. We have some special guests to join us on stage right about now. Be Real from Cypress Hill. Mark Chavez from Edema. Sandog from SX10, Cypress Hill. What's up, fellas? We got SX10 in the house. We got Cypress Hill in the house. We got Edema in the house. What's up, baby? We got Riff Raff. We got Z-Trick. Assorted Crews. This is the Projekt Revolution, y'all. Are you ready for this? Make some noise. All right, y'all, you gotta help us out with this right about now. We're gonna back you up, come on. Shut up, I'm not talking to you. Come on. Shut up. That's right, y'all, sing it. Shut up. A little louder, Las Vegas. Shut up. That's right, y'all, come on. Shut up, I'm not talking to you. Shut up. A little louder, y'all, come on. Shut up. You can do it, y'all, yeah. Shut up. A little louder, Las Vegas. Shut up. I'm about to break everything you say to me. Takes me one step closer to the edge. And I'm about to break. I need a little room to break. One step closer Yay! Projekt Revolution!
All right. We want to take this time to thank everybody here in Las Vegas. You guys made this. You guys made this a great way to celebrate the end of a wonderful tour, man. I want to thank Cypress Hill, Edema, DJ Z-Trip, and everybody here. Thank you, Las Vegas. Drive safe. God bless. Peace.